Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nightmares in Nature. As always, I'm your host, Mr. G. I hate the fact that I have to call this creature a nightmare in nature, but I have to do what the cards say, so lucky me, I guess. These are the rhinoceroses. Now, rhinos are a family of perissodactyls. Unlike the artiodactyls, who make up most of the large herbivores, perissodactyls only have three members that people care about: rhinos, horses, and tapirs. Except tapirs are pretty obscure, so I guess that's only two groups people care about. Anyway, rhinos are primarily dark gray or brownish creatures that live in Africa and Asia. Don't make the joke, 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 don't make the... Don't make the joke. Okay, I can do this, I can do this. Anyway, rhinos are best characterized by the horns they have on their nose. In fact, that's what rhinoceros means. Nose horn. So they're literally named after it. They can either have two or one depending on the species. This horn is both used to fight off potential predators and to fight each other. Although for predators, rhinos don't really have much to fear since they're far too big for most predators, and their skin is super tough, so they're hard to slash into for predator claws, you know? So, yeah. Rhinos have poor eyesight, but a good sense of hearing and smell. Because of this, they can't exactly tell what's around them. So, because of this, they've gained a reputation to attack things that spook them. But can you really blame them? Imagine you were blind and you heard an unfamiliar noise. You'd probably start throwing hands too. Like hippos, despite their size, rhinos are very fast, being a lot faster than a human. Remember, they are related to horses after all. There are currently 5 species of rhino alive today: the black rhino, Dicerus bisornis, and the white rhino, Ceratotherium sinum. They're the 2 African species, and you might have noticed that both of them are gray and not the color they're named after. For the black rhino, this is thought to be because of the fact that when they coat themselves in mud, they look kinda blackish. And as for the white rhino, we really have no idea. There used to be a popular story that it's because they mistranslated the Dutch word for wide, but there's never actually been any sources for that story, so it's been doubted. So we still don't know why they're called white rhinos. Anyway, these two species look similar, but they have a few key differences. First of all, white rhinos are bigger, and they have different lips. The lips of a black rhino are kinda hook-shaped, while white rhinos have a more rectangular-looking mouth. This is reflective of both of their diets, as while black rhinos primarily feed on branches and shrubs, white rhinos are grass grazers. Also, white rhinos are more social, sometimes even forming groups, while black rhinos are solitary and pretty territorial. Over in Asia, we find the other 3 species of rhino. There's the Indian, Rhinoceros unicronus, Sumatran, Dicerrhinus sumatranus, and Javan, Rhinoceros sondacus. With the exception of the Sumatran rhino, these guys only have one horn, and all 3 of them have notably shorter horns than the African species. The Indian rhino lives in, well, India, of course, while the other 2 are found in Indonesia, on the islands of Sumatra and Java, respectively. The Sumatran rhino is notably hairier than the other species, leading some to believe that they're the closest relatives of the woolly rhino. Well, that's rhinos for you, the nearly blind horse-like guys with horns. Now let's look at the card. I seriously cannot stress how much I hate the fact that they have such an endangered species in Nightmares in Nature, but, oh well, I guess I can understand it. I mean, I guess they can be pretty dangerous, and I can't criticize a series for its placement unless it's objectively inaccurate, like the Hellbender. What I can criticize, however, is that the back, when talking about white rhinos, they bring up the discredited wide theory, and it claims the black rhino is named after a river, which is something that I've literally never heard anyone else say. So, 8 out of 10. Rhinos are frequent sights in zoos and media. In media, they're kinda like bulls, in that they're portrayed as hotheads that trample anything in their sight. Well, that's the fun part out of the way, now let's get serious. Rhinos are among some of the most threatened groups on the planet. Besides the white rhino, all rhinos are severely endangered, with the worst of them all being the Javan rhino, who's in the double digits in terms of members. The main threat to rhinos is poaching, due to people killing them for their horns, which in some countries is believed to be medicinal. As such, rhino populations have massively dropped because of this demand, with some rhinos even being wiped out of certain areas. So yeah, very unpleasant all around. There is hope, though. Rhinos are a very protected species, and as such, populations are starting to make a comeback, like the black rhino, for example. And most rhinos live in national parks where it's harder to poach them. So let's keep our fingers crossed for the rhinos. And remember, poachers can burn in hell! Goodbye, everybody.